So welcome. I've been in my robe all day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay in my robe. I'll put eyeliner on and I had put a bra on, but that's it. That's all you get. So hello. Let me mute because I'm sure I'm not. Hearing myself. Hello. Yes, we are checking in. Shadow work is a tough time, so I wanted to check in with everyone. See how we're all doing. I apparently failed to grab my shadow work books. Damn it. 1 second. Oh, they're right here someplace. Tarot Tuesday. I got my stuff together for Tarot Tuesday. Where did I put my shadow work books? Oh, wait. I think they're on this side. No. Oh, Mama's so prepared. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to have my shadow work books for this talk. Because it's not supposed to be just me talking. I did get a new shadow work book. I'm here. You feel awful. Why do you feel awful? What do you feel awful for? Hi, Steven. What do you mean you're here and you've checked in? Yay, Joseph, you got a notification. I'm so excited. Hi, Nadine. Sherry just finished a journal prompt, but I've been hard on myself today. Oh, see, now sometimes this is why we have to check in, because we have to be extra vigilant not to be hard on ourselves, especially during shadow work. And sometimes that means like really letting some things go that normally you wouldn't let yourself off with. So we'll talk about that. Hi, M.A. Is it normal to have nightmares of our past? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, dear, it is. I'm not sleeping too good at night, and then I end up sleeping in. I'm right there with you. I had dreams last night, and I ended up going back to bed, which is why here I am still in my pajamas. I'm all by myself at a retreat without the usual comforts. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I had a dream last night about my Aunt Nancy. And those of you who have been following me for long enough know that I used to live with my Aunt Nancy to help her out. And she was very difficult to live with as a caregiver. Sometimes it's super hard to do that job. And so I still, though, feel bad about it, obviously, because I've had nightmares. Last night's nightmare was literally I slapped her. And I woke up thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with me? But I will say that my son has said that he went to visit her and she's not doing too well. So I know I need to go see her. So I know she's on my mind, and I keep thinking, oh, I hope she, even though we had a hard time together when we lived together, I hope she knows that I love her. And I know she does, but. Yes, so very normal. Very, very, very normal, yes. And definitely. And I am without sleep a lot since shadow work. Yes, more than usual. I'm not feeling down like the first week, but I guess it's coming in my dreams now. Yes, absolutely. I've been sleeping a lot too. Not well. Yep, for sure. This week is harder maybe because I'm all by myself at a retreat without my usual comforts. I bet it's harder then. That means that it's harder for you to take better care of yourself because you're not at home where you know where things are, that where you can take a break and kind of retreat away from the world at a retreat. That's really nice, but at the same time, you're still kind of, you have a mask on, you're still performing somewhat. Oh, what did I miss? Joseph must have said something. Hexen is just having nightmares because he hasn't moved. I agree. Okay. So what this check-in is for is several things. It is to remind us first and foremost, and I cannot stress this enough, and I know I've said it, and I've said it, and I've said it, and I'll say it again and again and again. Shadow work is really hard work. It's really hard work. I have felt migraines kind of coming in and out all week. On top of it, I'm changing my meds this week. So just kind of just so y'all know, I'm changing my meds. I have ADD, which I know I've shared before. And I'm going from a stimulant med to a non-stimulant med that I know used to work better for me. It's just my insurance didn't cover it for years and years. But it's really hard to go from a stimulant to a non-stimulant because my body is used to the stimulant. And even though it still has the ability to focus, it's hard to for your body to get used to not having that stimulant there. So I'm having a hard time just feeling exhausted. And my mind, while it can be focused, because I'm so tired, I'm having a hard time like really forming words and figuring out, grasping the sentences that I need to grasp and that kind of thing. I'm having a real hard time. And I feel like here I am in my robe. Well, thank goodness Stephen's card today was Four of Swords. So, whoo, yay. It was the day that I kind of am allowed to rest. And I used that all day as an excuse. Been in therapy, been forced into shadow work through mental health struggles from the pandemic. I think shadow work is beautiful, and the fact that I can learn to change my reactions is wonderful and gives me hope for a change for our future. It should for everyone. It should for everyone. Give us all hope. Because, and again, here's the thing. You have to be good to yourself. Drink lots of fluids. Eat healthier food. Try to get more exercise. My son and I were going round and round about it. And I think I might ask him to help me. My youngest son who's home, across the street. Like I might ask him to go for a walk with me every day or something because he was like, what'll help you sleep, Mom, is getting more exercise. And I'm like, I know that you're right, but I'm so tired. So yes, I really, I did not get out of my pajamas today. It was one of those days. And you know what? It's okay. You have to be able to say, this is what I needed today. And that's not lazy. And that's not horrible. And shut up, Joseph. And that's not product of what kind of person I am, or that I'm not good enough, or that, maybe I'm not doing the shadow work stuff well enough. We have to excuse ourselves for needing more of ourselves, for needing more rest, for needing more alone time, for needing more tears. I know Peter keeps looking at me like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible crier. Like I cry at sad commercials. Because I'm empathic and I feel for everyone. There are days that I just can't. You're in your PJs too. Woohoo, PJ party, Kim. There are days that I cry at everything. So my day, let's see if I can get through this. Whew. My morning started out with a news report of how terrible it is in Afghanistan right now for the poor people who are there. The Taliban, since the Taliban went into control, they're having a horrible time. They're starving. And to the point where, to the point where poor families are selling their children, their female children, at 7 and 8 years old to be married off to feed the rest of the family. So, yeah. So my morning started off sobbing. And of course, Peter is looking at me like I'm crazy. Because, but I said to him, how can we allow that? How can that continue? Where's people's humanity? And the problem right now is we need to make sure that wherever we give aid, like even if I gave them money, we have to make sure that it's actually getting to the right people, that the Taliban are not taking the money that we're going to give for something else. So it's a really hard situation right now, because it's really hard to trust, like even how to get help to them. Will they allow them to get the help, even if we gave it right now? We can't trust that the Taliban would give them help. Leanne, I was talking about the Afghan people right now, the poor Afghan people. Yeah, it does hit different when you're a woman, for sure. The poor Afghan people are starving, and to the point where they are having to sell their female children at 7 and 8 years old to be brides so that they can feed the rest of their children. And that just about kills me. You see these little girls, and you know what? I don't care. Like, I will say that my son and my husband were military. So they see things differently a lot, which I totally understand. And a lot of times their response to stuff like that is, well, that's on the Taliban. Well, I know that. I'm not saying that's not on the Taliban. I am saying that's not acceptable. You see these 7 and 8 year old little girls who have dyed their hair with henna so that they have that beautiful orange red hair. And they're trying to get the best price for them so that they can feed the rest of their family. And her father is heartbroken. It's not like he wanted to sell her. But the father says, you come here. And he says, I know she's not old enough to be married, but I need the money to feed. I have 5 other children. And at least I know if they are giving me $2,000 for her dowry, at least I know that she will be eating, and that will help my family, the rest of my family, to eat. And, and what are we going to do? So, sorry, but there you go. So that's what my morning started out sobbing. And then continued, then I feel like this all day. Yes, that's true. I agree, Courtney. And it's funny how very often it's the people who know what it's like to be without, who give the most, right? In terms of percentages or that kind of thing. And I'm not saying anything about rich people. I don't mean it like that. I just mean sometimes I think in order for it to really hit home, it doesn't do that until you've felt that pain, until you have worried about where you're going to get the money to feed your kids. until you have hitchhiked to work because you couldn't afford the gas money to get there, but you knew you needed to go. To, like, you know, when things like that happen, it gives you a new appreciation for things. It must be that kind of day. It must be. Hold on, I'm going to blow my nose here. Sorry. I did not intend to do this, see, but I'm going to say, and let this be a lesson to you, that I'm going to say, it's okay. We're going to have days like these, and it's going to hit us differently and harder, and we have to be better. We have to be more appreciative of what our body, our psyche, our minds, and our spirits are going through. We have to allow ourselves the time to grieve and to mourn and to rest, and know that our body and because our minds and our spirit are going through all this stuff, when we are really pulling out these dark edges of ourselves, physically we're more tired. It's going to take a toll on us differently. So we're going to need to be better to ourselves. There is a reason that I say affirmation work is one of the most important things you can do when you're doing shadow work, because you have to build yourself up. You have to be at your highest so that when you go through this, you won't get knocked down to a level that you give up. And that's hard. And I don't mean to scare people. Some people have said, I don't think I'm ready for shadow work. You can dive as deep as you want to. Or if you don't think you're at that level, or you don't think you can really handle that kind of an emotion, you don't have to dive that deep. Just skim the surface and see what you can do on a daily basis. Don't make it so hard for yourself that you are absolutely miserable. That is not the process here. There are ups and downs for sure. Absolutely, there are ups and downs. But you should also be happy to be enlightening yourself and bringing yourself to the next level of your spiritual development. And if you can't see that part, if you're like, yeah, I don't see any of that good stuff, I only see the shit that I'm diving into, then stop. Stop doing it. You're not doing it right. You should be excited that you're pulling things out and evaluating things that are okay to let go of, that you are creating, getting more close with your true self. The goal here is to make the true self that you know yourself to be, and the self that we are portraying to everyone else in the world on a daily basis, to get them as close to each other, as close to the same as possible. And that's the goal. It's never going to be exactly the same. It's never going to be exactly the same. But the goal is to get us to as close to that as we can. Okay? So let me read some of these questions and stuff. Being poor and beaten down teaches you to appreciate. Yes, absolutely. No, it's actually a fact. The rich are less likely to give, and that's why they are where they are. It's sick. I know. I don't begrudge people who are rich, though. I think it's harder to give from the heart when you have not felt the pain of being on the other side. That's all. I can and do cry about things like this all day, every day, but I have a hard time feeling anything about what I've gone through. That says something, Danielle. Oh, that's good. Write that down. Danielle, I want you to take your journal. If you have started a journal, and write the sentence you just said, write that down. Because you know what? There's a shadow in there that needs to be explored. There's a lot of people who feel like that. And I'm one of them that I feel, Peter laughs at me all the time, because I will cry like that for someone else's pain. But there's like this hard outer crust sometimes about my own pain, right? That I'm like, either I'm not going to allow myself to feel it, or I downplay it. Oh, it's not a big deal, Jen. Pull yourself up. Shut the fuck up. Stop your whining and bitching. there is a shadow work to be done about that, Danielle. So that's a very good observation of yourself. I'm proud of you for bringing that up, because sometimes it's hard to bring up our own stuff. I need to deal with my blockage with affirmations. Oh, Stephen, you so do, honey. Anytime someone says something good about you, I see it. I see it. You go, oh, yes, sure, thank you so much. And I know you do, and you know you do. You definitely have a blockage with affirmations. And so that comes from inside. That's an internal place that you have to start that shadow work. And even if you're faking it till you make it, you have to look in that mirror and figure out what you love about yourself and forgive the things that you don't. And that's a huge part of shadow work. Gemini, this is so timely. My shadows have said it's time to face them. I've been having past life dreams. Oh, yes, past life stuff comes up. Yes, yes, yes. Also, things from this childhood are coming to the surface. Absolutely. And that's really, really difficult. I think of it as a cleansing. Yes, as a cleansing for sure. The timer app, yes, has affirmations sounds can play before and after shadow work. I love that. So the app that I tell people to use is called Insight Timer. You all can friend me on there if you want. You're allowed to friend people. In fact, I realized you can make group meditations, and I just started a group meditation thing. I think I have to start inviting people. But anyways, it's called Insight Timer, and it's a great meditation app. It will remind you to meditate. You can pick your meditation based on subject or based on time. So let's say you have 5 minutes. You only have 5 minutes. You can say, I want a 5-minute app on affirmations, and it'll pull that up for you. What about the traumas we know are there? It jumped on me. Hold on. But we blocked them and can't remember. Sherry, we just have to be good enough to ourselves until our psyche thinks that we can handle it. So we just love it anyway. Even if you think that there is a trauma there, you meditate about it, look at it, say, there's something here. I know there's something here, and I have blocked that part out. And know that I love you, that it's okay, that you blocked that for a reason. Very often, we talked about this last time, talking about your shadow like it's another person, another entity sitting next to you. So you say to it, I love you anyways. You protected me from this thing, this trauma that I am not seeing. Thank you. Thank it. Thank you for protecting me from something you knew I could not handle. And when you think I'm ready, I want you to show that to me. And that's all we can do is thank it, love it anyway. Ask it to show it to us. I'm not important enough. My issues aren't big enough. Exactly. No, I meant I have a blockage about using affirmations. You think they're dumb, kinda, right? Is that it? I get the impression that you're like, it just doesn't work for me. And I think, though, Stephen, that there's a deep-seated something there because of that block. There's something there that you definitely need to work through. Affirmation, I am a powerful witch. Yes. Affirmation, why are you a powerful witch? Because I'm asking you, the fact that you had the guts to ask or to stand up and say, I am a powerful witch. How many powerful witches... if you are not a powerful witch, you're not going to be powerful enough to stand up. Yes, I'm on TikTok. I've done like a couple crystal videos. I'm on TikTok for the business, I should say. And I am on TikTok. There's another, but I don't know the sign in anymore. I am on a person someplace, but facing our vulnerabilities is scary, makes us feel weak. Yes. Hi, Michelle. I was crying earlier thinking of my parents. They did the best they could, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. Jackie, I hear that on such a deep level. One of my sons, I keep hoping someday he will forgive us for not being the rich family. But I know that right now it's not happening. Christiana popped in late, went back on a bit, 2 times speed to catch up. All right, Stephen, I'm in your boat 100% on that. Accept my help, but please don't acknowledge it because I don't know what to do with that energy. I know you don't, Joseph, and I love you anyways. I just want to hug you every time. I'm like, stop it. Don't you dare look at me and say no. Inside Timer, also affirmations for kids. Yes, so true. I was growing up to be tough. I cry during movies, but when things are horrible for me, nope, can't cry. Yes, absolutely. That's really helpful. I had a dream the other night. I was almost in a panic and I couldn't wake myself up. Finally, my husband nudged me, and when I woke up, I couldn't remember what was happening. I feel like I've been writing the same thing down for years, though. Do we ever get rid of them or make friends with them? Oh, Emma, that's a good one. So I'm going to stop there for a minute. I agree. I have been writing the same things down for years too. I have anger issues that I've been writing down, and they get better. I don't know if we ever put the shadow down and leave it behind us. I don't know if we ever get to that point. I think sometimes, but I think some things we can't completely put away because I know for me, sometimes I think if I just really allow myself to let go of that, what if I forget that that was an issue for me and it comes up again and I've forgotten that, oh yeah, I do have this anger issue. I do lash out at people when I'm afraid that they see me as vulnerable. It is okay to always work on the same things as long as you're looking at them from a different aspect. It's funny that my anger issues have changed a lot. They're still there. They still rear their head sometimes. But I have been able to manage them in a different way so that usually before I get to this explosion point, usually I can catch myself. It's been quite a while since I've gotten to the explosive point. And the couple times in the last few years that it has happened, I was able to recognize because someone will say to me, usually it's my sons, will say, Mom, that was horrible. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. What the hell did I do? And I recognize it and I go back and correct it and apologize. I'm really sorry. I can't believe I did that. That is a me thing. That is not a you thing. Even though I was upset with you and angry, I lashed out. So I was able to recognize it and then try to correct it before it got too bad. Where it used to be, I would do this lash out, anger, awful, horrible, I would say awful, horrible things and never say another word to them about it. So it gets better, I think. Pick an affirmation, figure out your problems with it. You can use your affirmations for emotional work and observation. Yes. I always had to stay tough because I was bullied so much in school. Crying made it worse. Years later, so Jennifer, I woke up this morning with an idea. You would make shorts of tarot decks, like 6 of your favorite cards from each deck for 33-second videos. Ooh, I like that. 6 of your favorite cards from each deck for 33-second videos. I like that. That's a good idea. I'll try that. I like to feel that my shadow evolves as I do. My shadow and I are yin and yang. You need darkness to have light. Yes, absolutely. I found part of my lesson has been to put down some shadows, burdens, triggers. The lesson then has been to learn how to respond in a different way and not overreact. Exactly, 100%. I agree, 100%. And there are things, now I do have to say that I have grown out of things, and that can be through shadow work. It can be through my experience in life, that suddenly I realize, oh, wait. And I don't want to say fun because it's not like, oh, it's so fun. But what's fun is, there's been a couple times that I have put myself through shadow work and something triggers me, and it's like our reaction to things has been ingrained in us. We've always, when someone does this, I react like this. And so at some point I realized, oh wait, this is a reaction that I don't need anymore. I was protecting myself from something that doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't, there's nothing behind that I'm protecting myself from anymore. So I don't need to react like that anymore. And it comes when you're able to step outside of yourself. And again, this is one of the good things. One of the things that helps with shadow work is being able to see it almost as a separate entity. Because you can get to the point where you can step outside of that shadow and look at it. Before you're triggered, right before you react, you can step outside and say, okay, whoa, wait a second. I see what he's doing here. I see what she's doing here. This is a reaction to this thing that I thought about before. And I don't need that anymore. I'm okay. Even if I'm a little vulnerable, even if I might feel this, even if I might allow someone to see that I'm not the perfect person that I want everyone to think I am. Whew, you know what? I'm going to try not to react that way and see what happens. And then step back into your shadow. And instead of react, just open up to it. And that helps if you are able to stop yourself. And the key really is to take a breath before that reaction happens, to be able to take a breath and say, is this really what I want? Is this my shadow rearing its head? Is this something that I can stop before it happens? Jared, hi, Jay. Yay, welcome. Spice up the shorts. Make sure you tell your viewers your nicknames for the deck, like the hooker deck. Yes, my hooker decks. And yeah, oh yes. Jen, I have a deck. You can pick 6 of your favorite men. I know what deck you're talking about, Joseph. I love that deck. How did you use an affirmation deck? Do you just pull a card? Oh, yes. So sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. Now, sometimes daily is too much for people. The affirmation deck I've been using lately is called the Lantern Oracle. And like today, I did not pick a new card because, again, it was one of those days that I thought, nope, I just need to rest today. I'm not going to do a whole lot. So literally, I will just go through, shuffle. I always shuffle, but everybody will do this, their own way. And for me, there's a sense that I get when I'm close to the card. Ooh, it's close to the beginning. So it's close to here. So when these cards are kind of sticky, so then I kind of have to pull them out and fan them out a little. So, and I get almost, it's just a tingly, like, oh, there's the card. It's over here. And so today's card is, yep, I need my glasses. False beliefs. Once the untruths that we believe about ourselves eliminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitation that confine us to it. Now tell me, this is, not supposed to be the card. Everything we just talked about. Yeah. So then with this deck, I have been going to the book, looking at what the book says, seeing how that relates to what I've been going through, and writing it down. I had someone say to me today, this card I pulled, I don't think it has anything to do with me. And I thought about it and I didn't look at the card yet. But what I need to say to her is, if you don't think it relates to you today, then wait a while. It's not that it doesn't relate to you, but it might be a lesson that you need, or it might be something that you just need reaffirmed for yourself. There's a cute meditation for kids called The Pond. Oh, Be the Pond. I love it. That's perfect. I love that, Sarana. I feel like my shadow has been allowed to dominate my sense of self lately. All the more reason for the affirmations. Yes. I've been pulling cards when I feel something has changed and I need to. Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely. Sometimes you don't need to pull a daily card. But if something's changed and, okay, this isn't quite what I need, it's time to pull. I just got the Lantern Oracle today. I'm really loving this deck lately. You and the false belief card have the matching colors on. Oh, we do. Look at that. We match for sure. What I've come to appreciate most about shadow work is that it really does help. It took me years to even write things down that could make me vulnerable, but my therapist has praised the results. It really does. It really does help. It really does bring us to a closer sense of the self we see. So the goal, again, our goal in shadow work, everyone, when you close your eyes and you think of the true self, the self that you are without any masks, without reacting to the things that are around us that hurt us, the true self that we know ourselves to be, that is that's our perfect self, okay? And that is the self that we all think of ourselves as, okay? The self that we show to others and that we end up being for ourselves in real life, in our non-spiritual life, that is the masks that we put on, the shadows that we've created. What we want to do with shadow work is bring as close as we can those two selves together. And so we start to open up the shadows. I keep saying it's like a wrinkle. To me, it's like your body does this. Oh, see, this is something I don't want people to see. I'm going to turn it around so it's just a shadow and nobody will recognize it. Well, that was a vulnerability, though. That was something that we didn't, oh no, people might see that and I'll be hurt if they don't like this. This will hurt me if someone sees it again. This is a sore spot for me. This is an open wound that if somebody laughs at it, if somebody sees it and thinks I'm not a good enough mom, I'm not a good enough person, I'm not a good enough teacher, I'm not a good enough whatever, I'm not a good enough love, I don't love deep enough, whatever it is, we don't want anyone to see it. So we fold it over, okay? And so the true self is, we want to get as close to turning it inside out and showing it all out there and saying it's okay. Because you know what? I love who I am. These shadows, these things that I created for myself allowed me to get through that. And good for me. Wow. Your shadow knew that you could not handle that pain right now. And so it hid it for a while. I can't. Oh, good for you. And if you can thank your shadow, if you can say, oh, thank you for protecting me. I don't know if I could have gotten through that situation. That was a hard day. That was a hard situation. That was a hard place to be in. And you protected me from it. And I thank you. I honor your sacrifice for protecting me from pain. Thank you. But now I want to try to let that go. I want to try to do things a little differently. I want to open up to that and say, okay, it might hurt, but as long as I know it might hurt a little, but I still think I'm a good person. I still think it's okay. If I react in a way that I know is for my betterment, for my spiritual advancement, for my health in whatever way, mental, physical, psyche, social, whatever, if I act in that way and I show a vulnerability and someone laughs at it or someone says it's not enough for me, then I can't control what they say, what they see, but I can say, you know what? It's okay. I love me anyway. I love this anyway. It's okay. It's all right. If everybody else doesn't love this part of me, it's all right. I don't need them to love it. I need to know that this is a part of me and it's made me who I am. And I love me anyway. I love it. I love that I fucked up sometimes. I love that I'm not always the perfect person, but boy, do I fucking try. And I get up every time and I say, okay, I'm going to try this again. I love that about me. That's the place that we need to get to, okay? Okay. It's a great, but very female oriented. That's true. I only have one oracle. Sonia, yep, trust your vibes. That's a good one. I like Sonia. Absolutely. Can talk to a therapist be considered a form of shadow work? Yes, absolutely, Jess. Absolutely. I have been to therapy many times, and I think each time it has helped. Even the few times when my parents were getting divorced and my brother and I would laugh at the therapist. Yeah, but I will tell you also that if you do not find the right therapist, try a different one. Don't give up just because you don't like the first therapist you go to. Sometimes they're just not the ones for you, and that's okay. Don't ever think that all therapy is the same or that all therapists are the same. Sometimes you click with someone and you connect with how they do things, and sometimes some other people you're like, oh, okay, this guy doesn't get me at all. I don't like that. Okay? Don't give up on the first try if that's not, that doesn't mean it all isn't. Shadow work has been a huge help in helping me find my authentic voice. Yes, so good. I am still working on such a people pleaser. Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard. It's really hard, right? There's that voice inside of us. And I always think of it as my mother's voice, even though my mother was not that kind of a mother. She was I shouldn't say this because, oh my gosh, if she's watching. And I don't want to hurt my mother. If you're watching, Mom, I'm sorry, but she was a selfish person. Not that kind of a mother, but I still hear my mother's voice in my head that says, oh, if you don't get your butt up and get out there, they're all going to be disappointed. And then they're going to think that you're not a good mother or a good wife or a good spiritual teacher or a good advisor or good, if you don't, I guess you're not enough. You're not enough. That's the voice that we have to go, fuck you. I am enough. And if they don't like that, if they don't think I'm enough, let them go find another teacher, mother, wife, whatever. That's on them. I have to be secure enough in me. One of my favorite quotes is, we cannot solve our problems with the same thing we used when we created them. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That's a good one, right? Ooh, so good. And again, Jay. Sorry, I was reading Jay's comment. Carl Jung. Carl Jung is a master at shadow work. I'm going to share here. This is my Pinterest board for shadow work. I will say that my Pinterest board can be a bit of a rabbit hole, and you may find yourself kind of there all day. I have a lot of pins. I don't know how many. I've worked a long time on my Pinterest boards. But this is the Pinterest board I have for shadow work. There's a lot of Carl Jung quotes. There's a lot of quotes that really help you to look at things a little bit differently. Feel free to use any of them. If you need some of them for affirmation work, that's okay. You cannot heal in the environment where you become damaged. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. How can you heal when it's the same environment? Exactly. I honored Hecate on her night, and I heard her say, do the shadow work. That does not surprise me in the least. In the least. Hecate is a huge advocate for shadow work. She definitely and absolutely will push you to do shadow work if you need it. She also, though, will guide you. She has her 2 torches ready and able to shine the light. If you're too afraid to, there's been times where I've been like, oh, okay, I don't know if I want to see this. This could get really ugly. I know what's down there, and it could be really ugly. And I will say, you do it. Can you shine your light? And she'll come with her torches and say, yeah, you know what? It's still beautiful, bitch. Look it. Open your eyes. Look at this. Yes, it's beautiful. Pull it out. Let's work on it. She is a force for change. And she is quite open. But it's always for your betterment. She really is trying to make you the better version of you. So she's never done me wrong. Sometimes I haven't been as ready as I think she thinks I am. But she's always been very good about that, for sure. I pinned quite a few quotes from your board, and feel free. I'm not one of those people. I've said this before. I've been banned from a lot of Pinterest boards because I repin. I kind of thought that's what was Pinterest was for, but some witches get mad that instead of just following their board, I repin them to my boards so that I can find stuff again. Because if I just had to go through everybody else's boards, what they called stuff, I don't know. I think that's silly. Feel free to repin whatever the hell you want. I pin it for your views and for mine, and feel free to use whatever it is you want on my Pinterest. I'm not one of those Pinterest Nazis. Hi, Pook. I'm not a Pinterest Nazi. All right, any other questions about where we are so far with shadow work? About anything that you felt, anything that you have run into? Not that I know it all, guys. I do not know it all. Absolutely do not. And you will hear me say, geez, I'm not sure. Let's find, I will help you find the answer. But I definitely don't know it all, but I'm willing to stand with you and try to look for the answer. While I'm waiting for questions here, I will say Saturday is the next shadow work video. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the United States. So I probably will not be on Thursday. We just decided, though, that we're not going to do a sale for the shop on Wednesday next week. Because the next day is Thanksgiving, and Peter is cooking like all day long, and it's really a lot. So we're not going to do a show on Wednesday. We're going to only have one show, which is going to be Black Friday next week. So I will be coming on for this check-in on Wednesday, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Okay? That's what I love about you. What? So the next check-in video will be next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Cooking lessons with Peter. Oh, he would love to. I'll see if I can get him to do some, because he cooks for like 24 hours straight. He's crazy. Thanksgiving is his favorite holiday. Friday is Mama's Live on Facebook. Yes, absolutely. You can all catch that tomorrow. We're going to do tomorrow's live. And then next Friday is Black Friday, and we're going to have a huge Black Friday. Peter and I talked about it today. We're going to have a huge Black Friday sale. A lot of stuff that we have will be like half off. We're going to do some new like Yule gifts kind of stuff. We're going to have a big sale and try to pull out as much as we can to get rid of some of the stuff that we've had for a little while and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a huge sale next Friday, and there's some good stuff this Friday. My Yule oil and my Yule incense and stuff will be ready tomorrow. So I feel like I have a lot of blame. I know I can't and don't want to convince the other party, but how can I work through it without feeling any guilt? There's a difference between guilt and shame. Is there a book on shadow work? Yes. Damn it. I knew I needed my shadow work books for something. Oh, wait. Did I put them in this cabinet? No. That would have been... But I did not. There's a couple books. There's a shadow work journal that I put on the event page. And the other book that I've been using a lot is called For Troubled Times. And it incorporates tarot into your shadow work. Sorry, I had to make you plug yourself. That's all right, Joseph. I appreciate you helping me do that because you know I'm not good at that. Okay, so there's a difference, Michelle, between guilt and shame. Guilt sometimes is when you feel you have done something wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to feel any guilt. Shame is when you swallow yourself in it, though, and you beat yourself up for it over and over and over and over. That's not healthy. Guilt means you feel like, oh, you know what? I could have done something differently. That is when you look at it, you say, oh, why did I react that way? Is there something that I can change next time so maybe I don't react that way? And you say, okay, that was my reaction because I was trying to protect myself from pain, from feeling vulnerable. And I love that I was trying to protect myself. And then let it go. The biggest thing, that's why we do affirmations so much in between, is because we have to say, you know what? We're fucking human. Do you know how many mistakes I make on a daily basis? More than I can count. I hurt people. I say the wrong thing. I am a human through and through. And that's okay. I have to look at it, say that really sucked, and Jen, you have to do better. Apologize. Do whatever you need to do for yourself to say, okay, I know I sincerely tried to make it better, to make that situation better, and love yourself anyways, and move on saying, you know what, next time I'm going to try to do this better. And that's it. If you wallow in it and you keep beating yourself up in it, that doesn't help that person that you hurt. That doesn't help you. That means you're not healing so that you will do better next time. You're sitting in it. And for me, that's almost more selfish, which sounds like, oh my gosh, now I'm beating you up too. But it's almost more selfish to sit in it and go, oh, what a bad person I am. I don't deserve anything. Because you know what? Fuck that. You deserve everything. You deserve to be the most magical human being you can be. The most magical human you can be. You deserve that. So do that. Step forward in your life. Tell yourself you love yourself enough to do better. Where am I? Sorry. I watched your Hecate video yesterday. As soon as I started feeling something about her helping with shadow work, I kind of shut down. I couldn't focus anymore. I stopped being present. And that's okay. Little bit at a time. Little bit at a time. Open yourself up a little bit. Hecate, help me out here. Do a meditation. Meditation, I'm going to tell you right now, meditation is one of the most important things you can do. One of the most important things you can do. It's so important. And I haven't been very good at it lately. Something happens when I'm not sleeping. And that's not an excuse. That's just I need to do better. But that helps you to calm yourself enough so that you can hear the inner voices that are trying to help. I highly recommend Jungian psychology and astrology. Oh, I bet. That sounds good. There's some references. I just got this book. I don't know how good it is yet, but I've wanted it for a while. This is called Embracing the Moon. And this is A Witch's Guide to Ritual Spellcraft and Shadow Work. I haven't even cracked it open yet. I don't know if I would recommend it yet or not. But this is a book that has been on my list for a long time. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to open it up and see if it helps us. How can you distinguish between your shadows and the negative things others are saying? Miriam, okay, so your shadow is what your shadow person, the entity that's there trying to protect you. And the shadow doesn't always do it as a bad thing. It's trying to protect you. But your shadow folded something over and said, oh, don't look. Because this is something you might be embarrassed about. This is something that might open you up to more pain. So instead of allowing you to feel that pain, because we don't like to sit in our pain. And that's something that we have to learn sometimes, is that sometimes being in pain is a human experience that we have to sit in it and go, wow, this is hurtful. This is pain. Ouch, this hurts. It's okay to sit in pain sometimes. But in order to protect ourselves from that pain, our shadow says, oh, let's distract them. Let's lash out. Let's put a mirror in front of them and say, no, it's you. It's all you. Whatever it does to fold that over so that you're not seeing it anymore and it thinks it's protecting us from pain. That is the shadow that we've created for ourselves. Negative things that others are saying, That is, that's their perception. You never want to take on someone else's perception of you. If you walk away from something and someone has said to you, wow, you did very selfish, and you walk away and you take a couple days, a couple years, a couple millennia, whatever it is that you need, and you look back on that situation, you say, no, it wasn't. I didn't do that because I was selfish. There was a reason for that. Then that is not your shadow. That is someone else's perception. And we cannot try to control other people's perception of us. We can only control ourselves. So our shadows are going to be things that when we look at it, it's usually things that we dislike about ourselves, reactions that I don't like that I have anger issues. I don't like when I lash out at people. I don't like that kind of thing. Or if we find someone in life that we immediately, have you ever felt someone in life that you immediately go, I totally dislike that person? Usually you are recognizing something you dislike in yourself. That one is a hard one for me, I'll be honest. Because if I get that from someone, I have no interest whatsoever in exploring what that is. I'm like, oh, really? There's something in them that I dislike about myself. How nice. Stay away. It's really hard then to say, okay, what is it? What is it that you have that I think, oh, you might expose me to that piece of me that I've tried to hide? I feel a large amount of shadows appeared after becoming a parent. Yeah. Oh, parenthood. Yes. I feel so guilty for missing the old me. How can I accept myself and be the person I want to be? All right. First of all, the first thing, that's why affirmation comes first, because we have to accept ourselves no matter what. No matter what. There's something to be said for saying, you know what? I accept who I am. You miss the person that you were. Okay. There's nothing wrong with missing that person that you were. Being a parent is fucking difficult. It is, for me, that's the most difficult job you can ever have. It is really, really hard. And it's grueling sometimes. And you have to give and give and give of yourself. And sometimes there is very little coming back to you. And it's very hard work. And sometimes you say, fuck this. I'm going to do something for myself, even though you think, oh, I probably should be the better mom. You have to forgive yourself, because in order to be the better parent, you have to be happy too. You don't want your children to see this person who is unhappy because they never do anything for themselves. They never make themselves happy, right? You have to be the person that you want your children to see too. And that means sometimes putting yourself first. You want them to be able to put themselves first sometimes. Does that make sense? Does tripping on a flat surface count as human? Oh, goodness. I hope so, Brandon, because I do that every damn day. Every damn day. My granddaughter called me out for being passive aggressive. Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that, Jackie. Yes, I totally hear you. My husband knows, he'll call me my father. Okay, Gordy. And I'm like, oh, am I being my father? Because my father's super passive. I love him to death. I love my pops, but super passive aggressive. So when he does that, first I get mad and I'm like, fuck you, asshole. And then I'm like, oh shit, am I doing that? Oh God, stop it. Stop it right now. Yes. I've been meditating with Green Tara. Oh yes, I've always wanted to look more into her. I don't think I would call it selfish. It's also part of Christianity and the punishment model of learning. Yes, we punish ourselves for being bad. Yep. And punishment is usually an unsuccessful way of learning. Oh, for sure. Yes, testify. Say that again. Try the site for affirmations. Perfect. I've met a lot of people like that. Well, that me of my shadow thing is I do want to control perception so that everyone thinks I'm good. Yes, I know. We all want to control perception. Couldn't it be also be just an internal warning that they are awful? It could be, Sherry. It depends on if you have seen anything from them. You're right. If you're empathic, sometimes that warning, there's a difference though between warning and, you have no reason. So I'm talking about when you meet someone and you have no reason in the world to not like them. They haven't shown you anything that is sneaky or untoward or anything. It's just that person that you meet that you think, I don't know what it is. I just don't like them. There's something about them that usually that's there's something hidden in there that you might see of yourself. So look away. Sometimes people are just assholes. Yes. I also see that you don't like when you forget something and you feel you've let someone down. Oh, Danny, yes. I hate that. Because I so wish that something that I have a really hard time with is my memory. And the older I get, the worse that it gets. And sometimes I worry. I've had big worries about things like Alzheimer's and stuff, even though that's not my family. My family has a form of Parkinson's disease called whatever Robin Williams had, which now is totally escaping me. But that affects memory. And so I worry sometimes that I'm really going to lose it. I've lost a lot of memory. As I get older, it gets worse. And to me, it's not like an exercise. I try to do some of the games that help with memory and stuff, but and I always feel bad because I never do that on purpose. I never forget about someone on purpose or forget about something I was supposed to do for someone on purpose I would never do that. I highly value my word to someone. And so when I break that because of a memory issue, it pisses me off. Lewy bodies. Thank you. Yes. Lewy bodies. That's it. My grandmother had it. My Aunt Nancy has it too. So when that happens, I beat myself up. I try not to beat myself up, and I'm like, okay. And I've tried really hard to get better at saying, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I did that. And I need to get better at practical things on how to remind myself and stuff. I don't know, Post-it notes, although I think I would have so many Post-it notes in the house, it would be overwhelming. Like eventually I'd be like, okay, my house is full of Post-it notes. Which one do I read first? I don't know. But that's a hard one for me. I'm a bad thumb typer. I have exposed it. My son thanked me a few years ago for keeping him alive. I love that. Would working on shadow work in our Nematon be helpful? Oh, yes, Jay. Oh, so much yes. Absolutely, I see that. Your Nematon is your safe place. Those of you who have not done the Nematon, here we go again. I so have to record that better version of the Nematon video. But yes, if you have found your Nematon and you can get yourself to your Nematon, that should be a safe place for you to do shadow work. You can pull out your shadows there and there is no one there that will judge them. And I assume that would be even more so a safe place for yourself to look at. Like that, I'm truly interested now in trying to do that. I like that. Crying already. Thank you so much. Good. I mean, not good that you're crying. Yeah, okay. Being forgetful is forgetting where you put your glasses. Dementia is forgetting you even wear glasses. Yes, exactly. Exactly. A to-do list you can post on the wall for a week. That's probably a good idea. My mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's at 40. She lived with it for 30 years before dying in 2017. So far, my siblings and I are A-okay. Yay! Okay, good, Michael. I need to redecorate mine. Yes. The other thing is, one of my admins, if you can remind me about the Scotty meditation. As it gets colder, she's beginning to show her face again, and I never got the chance to finish the Scotty meditation last year, but Scotty specifically gave me a meditation that I was supposed to finish, and I was not able to finish it last year. And so she's already in my meditations been showing up and saying, okay, so you get it done this year. And I'm like, yes, I promise. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, any other questions? We're a little over an hour. You guys, the biggest thing is Scotty, Skadi, S-K-A-D with a little asterisk thing. And yeah, that. I. That's a good idea, Brendan. Yes. Mel and I are absolved from reminding you we are admins. Joseph, I'm going to beat you up. Okay, so now I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, the biggest thing, guys, is affirmation. You have got to forgive yourself for not being perfect. We are not perfect. Not one of us can say we're perfect. There is nothing in us that is perfect. There's not one thing. Even the thing that you are most proud of is not perfect. But that doesn't mean it's not beautiful. It is entirely and wholly beautiful. It is beautiful because it is you, and you have something to contribute to the universe, to the multiverse that I can't contribute, that your neighbor can't contribute, that nobody else can contribute. I'm going to learn something different from you that I learn from anyone else. And I hope that you're going to learn something different from me than you learn from anyone else too. And so that is the biggest thing, is recognizing that you are absolutely beautiful for the universe because of who you are, regardless of your faults and your flaws. And you know what? Our faults and flaws make us who we are. Thank goodness we're not all these perfect people, because how fucking boring would that be? I was just thinking, I always go on walks and listen to EDM when I wake up so that I can always be a form of shadow work. Yes, absolutely. The word perfect isn't perfect. Also, the word impossible says I'm possible. I love it. Absolutely. So keep that in mind. Be good to yourself and keep up with the affirmation work. And really, more than anything else, the affirmation work is to help allow yourself, be forgiving of yourself. Be as forgiving of yourself as you are for everyone else. At least as forgiving as you are with everyone else. If you would forgive your friend for screwing up whatever it is, forgive yourself. If you would forgive your spouse for screwing up whatever it is, forgive yourself. You are important. You are important. And your reaching your full potential is the most important job you have in this world, as far as I'm concerned. I watched 2 hours of We Are the World this morning. Wow. I loved that. I loved when that came out. That was one of my favorite things. I console work in there. I just haven't started shadow work. I love that. I love that you love your Namaton. I love that. I'm so excited that, that I have been able to introduce some people to that. I love that. Okay. So tomorrow night, I am having a sale on Facebook. My Yule oil, that's the first time my Yule oil and my Yule incense will be ready tomorrow. And we have some other things going on that we're doing in the meantime. We just are trying to have fun. And then don't forget, next Friday is a huge Black Friday sale. Next Saturday is our next, this coming up Saturday is our next shadow work video where we're learning something new. And next Wednesday will be the next shadow work check-in. And next Tuesday is the the card that seven of Pentacles, which is the card we actually did the 7 of Pentacles already, but YouTube erased it. So it's the second time we're doing it, but it's the first time that I'll be there for everyone to see is on Tuesday. All right. A beautiful disaster. I love it. That's perfect. Perfect. All right, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me and joining my pajama party. Peter got me this robe and I've been petting myself. I know that doesn't sound good. Shut up, people. But it's so soft. So I didn't take it off all day. I've been petting myself. I love you guys to death. You are amazing, amazing people. I'm honored that I'm able to be in front sometimes. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.